Good afternoon. It happened again. I wanted to put out a completely different project, but I have some struggles with the draping of it, so it's gonna be something simple again. This time I'm going to make a sweater out of this stripy, I think it's a French terry jersey knit fabric. I've already made a pair of sweatpants out of this, so I know it's actually really nice fabric to work with. This is the pattern I'm using for it. It's New Look 6529. I made this version, now I'm taking this one, but I'm not gonna make this sweater up here. I am going to make this. My mom watches a series on Netflix which is called Sweet Magnolias, and one of the people in there had this sweater on, which had kind of like a Bertha style collar and then raglan sleeves with gathers in the cap of the sleeve. And I really like that. Like, I don't watch a lot of series and my mom and I have very different tastes, but that one sweater kind of caught my attention. So I found where it came from. I'll link it down below where I got my reference pictures from, because I believe it's on Amazon. But this is also kind of how I work. I start with a simple sketch, and then I make what I call is a pattern plot. So I kind of figure out what all the pieces should look like. This is kind of a wild guess. And based on that, I took this pattern and I altered it. So I've got all my pattern pieces here. I think the only thing that stayed the same was the neckband. Everything else has been changed. Got one of the yoke pieces here. This is the sleeve. And here I have the front. So it's been heavily bastardized to the point where it's actually not recognizable as this pattern anymore. But I really like that. Yesterday I already spent some time cutting everything out, and I did film a little bit, so I'll include that right here. I didn't film all of the pattern alterations I made, simply because I think that's a little bit boring to show all of you, also because it's kind of a trial and error. From now on, I'm gonna take you with me on this journey of recreating this sweater. Just to give myself, and well, you too, an idea of what it will look like. I really like it. I've now basted it together, and you can kind of maybe see here, it's not perfect. These do line up really well. I'm really happy with that. I'm gonna take it all apart now and properly stitch it together with a stretch stitch, because now I just used a straight stitch. What I'm also going to do is cut out another sleeve, take it all apart, put it all together properly. And then hopefully by the end of the day I'll have a sweater. This is going to be it for tonight. It's a bit disappointing because I had to cut the front panel and the front yoke again because I sewed it in wrong. This is what the front looked like. I mean, it looks really good. It matches up really nicely. It's just this. I made a mistake here of how to sew it in, and I corrected that with the back, which is why that one looks really nice now. But with the front I didn't pay enough attention, and now it looks really, really bad. So I decided to cut it out again, and I started with using the bottom half of this for one of these panels. And that was a bit foolish because I ended up not having enough and having to piece the new front, where I maybe could have salvaged this one if I didn't cut it out before I checked it. So tomorrow I'm gonna finish it, and hopefully tomorrow I'll have something to show you, a little bit more than what I have today. Good night. I've re-sewn the front, still need to press it, which is why it is a bit wrinkly right now. So now I can finally move on. Yay! It looks a whole lot better up here. Don't know if you can see it. They don't line up perfectly, but you know, I'm gonna call it good. We have a shoulder seam. I pinned, basted, sewn, pinked, and then pressed the shoulder seam. It's a little bit offset, but I'm not going to bother too much. The next thing we have to do is put in the neckband. And the way they want you to do this is to make sure that this kind of overlaps. I'm not entirely sure how to do it, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to sew from this pin up until this pin and leave the front V over here just loose for now, and then I'm probably gonna cut it in and see what it does then. And another thing I need to do before I can continue with the shirt in general, or the sweater, but I also have to run a gathering thread in the sleeve, which are here, but I'll do that shortly. And then once this is done, I'm gonna put it in however I think looks best. I'm gonna pink it, press it, and then it's on the sleeves. I think I have it figured out here. So I've seam ripped a tiny little bit here. This is how it's supposed to be. So I'm gonna try and sew this down, right sides together. I think I'm going to do a top stitch along this edge and then pink the inside. And then it will be on to the sleeves. But first, let's try this, because I have a feeling this is going to be a bit of a hell. Like, sleeves are not the most fun, but I think this is going to be worse. I've sewn the neckband on it. I actually worked out the front. Really happy with how that looks. However, it's a bit much room, like here. And it stands up a bit. And I'm a bit annoyed by that. And I don't know really how to solve that. What I can do is, this is the shoulder seam. I can pinch it out here. And that'll make it lay a lot flatter. It's not completely away in the back, but it's better. I think I'm gonna sew in the sleeves. This is an alteration I can make after I've sewn in the sleeves as well. I'm gonna finish it, and then if it's absolutely necessary, I'll pinch it out here, sew it down on the inside, and then fix it that way. I'm about to sew in the sleeve. I have gathered what is supposed to be the head. I think this is the shoulder, and over here it's gathered much more densely than over here. This is the front, and I prefer to have a little bit more gathering at the back, just because I find that having this less gathering at the front is a little bit more subtle. So I'm gonna sew this now, and I'll report back once I've done that. So sleeve 1 is fully set. You can see a little bit here. It went a bit wrong. It actually looks better on the back. Perhaps I should start with the back instead of the front. Might be an idea. I have not done the side seam yet. I'm gonna do that once I have the other one in, but I think it looks pretty good. Like, that's what the back looks like. But I really love the way this gathering looks, and I think it's gonna look really pretty. I've sewn the hems, the sleeves, and the bottom. It's finished! I really like it. I'll put it on a mannequin shortly to show you a little bit better. But here it is. I really like it. I couldn't pattern match this seam anymore, and I'm a little annoyed by it, but there's like no way of doing that since I had to recut the front. I did add some basically darts right here just to make sure that it would be laying flat. So now it's all laying nicely. And the fun thing is, my mom has seen my reference pictures and she now wants me to make one for her too. Yay! That was it for this video. Thank you for watching. I truly hope next video will be that promised 1917 dress that I've been trying to make for 4 weeks now. Thanks for watching. If you want to see next projects, stick around. There's no reason why not. On to the next stash busting projects.